We hit the 191 into Moab. And
White
then
puffy
where?
clouds
Yeah.
were everywhere.
And then where?
So we hooked a right on the 279. I'm blown away. There's this river, these towering red rocks, and back in time, I mean, there's pictographs, and it's just amazing. What a great way to end that day. So then we head back to the Apache Motel, and that was great because I wasn't expecting that.
Well, we looked it up, and by the way, John Wayne stayed there.
Yes.
And many other actors, so that was pretty cool. And it was funny because the guys came with us, and they actually booked rooms there as well. We went over to the brewery, had some beers and a little bit of food, and that's where the story started to become real for us, as they were talking about how we were filming and how much time and energy it takes. It was a great conversation, good to have them.
Yeah.
But guess what? The real excitement begins on day 3.
So day 3 was awesome. It started with a great breakfast, and who did we meet?
Justin, this is Josh's buddy from college. He works with Navtech, and he's going to take us on this amazing exploration into the Canyonlands.
I mean, it's so awesome when you start rolling on these dirt roads and you start climbing into the depths of these canyons. One of my favorite parts was Thelma and Louise Point. That was huge.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Then we see the gooseneck there. We've seen those around, southern Utah, Arizona. Pretty cool. The horseshoe bend there. We went up to Schaefer Trail. We went to Pucker Pass. I mean, we were all over the place. So we were able to see some great things. And you know what's really crazy? I actually rode motorcycles in the Canyonlands, and I forgot how beautiful she was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the different structures, the riverbeds, up on Schaefer Trail where we looked back down and you could see all the Jeeps coming up. Wasn't that just amazing?
Well, when you travel on motorcycles, you end up in places that you never thought you'd be. And then when you're there, it's like, wow.
Well, the motorcycle got us there, but we did something different. We jumped in a 4x4 and we rode around the Canyonlands. That's something that we haven't done before together.
And that is because of the motorcycle.
That's right.
So what was after the 4x4 tour?
So again, we get a message from one of our followers. They tell us, go do the Sal Mountain Loop. And we're like, I mean, if the day couldn't have been any fuller, we'd just been in the Canyonlands and we're going to go for another hour and a half, 2-hour ride up to the loop.
Right, that was great. It's like from one world to another.
Yeah, you're in the desert floor. All of a sudden you start climbing. There's a little bit of color change, elevation change.
Pine trees.
And then we run into snow.
Awesome.
Crazy. We got up to about 12,000 feet on the top of that mountain.
Right. So after the loop, we headed over to Susie's Branding Iron, and they had some great food there, so we got to sit down, have some drinks, and fill our bellies.
Yeah, I mean, Josh had a steak, you had a steak, and I had a steak, and it was great. That was the end of day 3. So now we begin day 4, and what do we see but Arches National Park?
And what a sight that was to see, man.
Sure
that
was.
was great. So we headed into Arches, and Arches to me was a mind blow because you go up this steep hill, you're way up on a plateau, and there's arches sticking out, so it's different. It's not canyons, it's monuments.
Yeah, to me it was almost like prehistoric.
Yeah.
You come in, there's nothing around, it's pretty barren, but you see these massive arches throughout, and we just saw the very front of that as you get into the park. As you continue deeper, it even gets bigger and
Really?
better. Yes.
Wow, the thing that the rain and wind carving out a sculpture.
Well, we learned
Amazing.
about that with Justin.
Yeah.
It starts something like this big, and it
Right.
works its way into an arch in millions and millions and millions of years.
So we didn't make our way through the whole park, but what did we see?
We went to the north window, we went to the south window, and the turret. Man, they were massive. And again, we haven't even seen the largest arches.
Right.
But these were massive.
It's amazing. So worth it. I mean, to me, it seems like Moab is the land of whatever you want to do, you can, whether it's Jeeps, kayaks, mountain bike, hang glide, whatever. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Utah, and we spent a fair amount of time down in southern Utah, and we've taken a lot of trips there ourselves, and there's just nothing. It's an endless amount of freedom that you can have. It's one of the mountain biking meccas of the world. You said the kayaking, this is the start of the Colorado River.
Right.
The Colorado runs through it. It's just an amazing place in southern Utah. If you can make it to Moab, you got to get there. Spring and fall are probably the best times because you don't have all the heat. Winter can be a challenge occasionally. Summer's just a tough chance through there because it can be in the high hundreds